Hey there, we're here to talk about the Orville Lasting Impressions episode. Hey there, everybody, it's Tom from Tom's Tech Show. I just got done a little late off of the DVR watching First Impressions, the next episode of the Orville. Some iced tea there to help the voice go. I can't even believe again how great the writing is and how good the storytelling is on here. So basically what happens, okay, let's go over kind of what happens. They find a time capsule on Earth. It's got a bunch of weird artifacts. I did notice it had a X-Men thing, which is still, well, now it's not a Fox property. X-Men is now a Disney property, but they still had a X-Men shirt, I think, in there, and some other like Oreos and some. Oh man, that Oreos must have been super stale after 400 years. Okay, so they had all those things in there, and one thing they did also find, and the one researcher was played by Tim Russ from Voyager. So more guest stars from Star Trek coming on the show, but. There was a can of Spam, and I kept waiting for them to open the can of Spam and have it be perfectly, heated up a little bit, and it just tastes perfect. I kept waiting for that moment where the Spam was perfect. I kept waiting. Are they going to do it? No, they didn't. They didn't go for the Spam. So anyway, but there was an iPhone 5 in there, and they said they couldn't power it or do anything else. So they take it down to the engineering bay, and then they start, fiddling with it, and they're able to get it to power on, and they're starting to look at what's in the phone and everything. And it was this woman named Laura. It was her phone, and turns out they find a video, and she said she wanted to let everybody in the future know who she was and what her life was and everything else, and take all the texts and everything that are in there so that they can find out what people were like in her century. So, which is what this is, the basics of a time capsule, right? This is why you do time capsules, so that you can find out what life was like back at a different point in time. You're sending a message into the future, right? So all's great, and Gordon decides that he's going to take the phone. He's very intrigued by everything in the phone. He's going to take the phone, and he's going to upload it into the computer and have it create a simulation of what's in the phone. So some great, props, going along the way. You have the phone, you have the simulation, and all this stuff to play into this. And then he creates this person, and Laura is like there standing in front of him and at a party at her house. And he proceeds to start to get to know her, and then she says, she's going, she sings at this bar and stuff, and then she goes there, sings, and it's too late. Gordon's head over heels for her, and just, wanting to be, with her, spending time with her, ending up, spending too much time. He gets late for his shift, things like that. So it seems, it's a real thing. So Next Generation kind of did something not exactly like this, but Geordi had to, episode called Booby Trap, Geordi had to figure out what was wrong with the engine in the Enterprise, and they had to, in order to do that, he had them create a simulation of the engineer who was in charge of building the Enterprise engines so that he could work with her and do kind of a hands-on thing. Then he made the mistake, maybe not mistake, of telling the simulation to overlay her emotions and her personality and everything onto the simulation. And through all of that, he ends up kind of falling in love with the simulation and, getting to that point where it's like, he can't. He doesn't. He wants to keep going back and doesn't want to leave. And the Enterprise is in danger. Back and forth. Okay. Well, this isn't the danger thing, but this is just him going through finding out this is, this person. If he would have been in that time, he would have totally fallen in love with her, totally wanted to be with her, and all that. So, on the other second, so there's always the primary story. Or many times there's the primary story, and then there's like the secondary story. They would do this a lot on Next Generation, where they would have the primary story, and then they would have like a subplot, secondary story of something going on. The secondary plot, oh my gosh, is that Bordas and Clyde find in the time capsule cigarettes, and they, Bordas takes a sniff of one and says, wow, that's, he likes that, so... he goes, and him and Clyde start smoking. And I guess, unfortunately, later on we learn that Moclans are extremely susceptible to nicotine addiction, so much that, they're eventually going to not be able to stop smoking with every second. They're going to have to be hyper chain smokers. So, comedy ensues between them, just through the whole episode, them catching each other smoking, them and back and forth. It's very good, subplot in the episode. So, but if we get back to if we get back to Gordon and Laura, so the episode kind of moves to where now Laura is getting back together with her old boyfriend. So this is like killing Gordon because he doesn't want this to happen. He wants, her for himself. So he basically goes to the computer and deletes the Gordon character. And when he goes back into the simulation after deleting the Greg character, he deletes the Greg character. That's the guy's name, Greg. Once he deletes Greg, then Laura is different. And she's not the same as she was before. And he gets, very, this isn't the person that I fell in love with. Why is this, and he asked the computer how to get her back to that point, and said the only way is to reintegrate the other data back into it, which would mean that Greg would have to come back, which means that she would be, gone from him because she was getting back, which the information he saw was on the phone and everything else and stuff. And he finally is sitting, and Kelly comes in and talks to Gordon, who just what she was telling him in that point in the show is so much about real life and real life for anybody anywhere, that we're kind of, a lot of us there's the whole nature versus nurture message, are we who we are because we, we're born to be, intelligent and have blue eyes and short or long hair or things like that, and we get mad at certain things and get happy at certain things, or are we that plus the nurture and friendships that we have along life? I mean, before I got married, I really had very little time wanting to go vacations or the beach or anything else, and because of Mrs. Tech Show, we live near the beach, we vacation a lot at the beach, and just the ocean is just very, that's something that, that I now have with me because of her, right? Different things, different people affect different people different ways, and that's who part of becomes who we are, and that, and that was what she was talking about that, and just like, there's such a good lessons, for life, that who you are, and maybe even on the other side, maybe we need to take care in who we spend time with and who we get our ideas from, because if there are things that we don't go with our core, this is kind of me talking, things that don't go with our core moral value that each of us has, then we need to stay away from those things that pull us away from those core moral values that we have. That's kind of me talking there, but she just continues on her path of how incredible was it that a person from 400 years ago was able to make a person in this time, fall in love with him. That says huge things about her and her past and who she was, that by putting this in the time capsule, she reached across time to someone and changed someone's life in the future. I mean, that's amazing. That's what's something that any of us could even begin to hope to do, right, is to change someone's life. I mean, you can, for myself, again, speaking as myself, to change, I can cut my beard. I can, I've had longer hair for forever. I can do that. I can shave my head. I can do all these other things to, try and make myself noticed or be somebody different. But to go out and help better someone else's life and to improve someone else's life and to change someone else so that they can lead a better life, that just really, really, makes more of a difference, more of a lasting impression, and is much, I think that's better of a personality, that's better of a character that you would have, to be able to do that rather than just change completely how you look just to try and be noticed. I think you would be more noticed by changing and make you feel better. I mean, there are known scientific studies. I would have to go find one and look it up, but that when you open the door for someone, when you do something nice for someone, it actually releases endorphins in your brain and their brain so that you both get a better feeling. So why not do that more on a daily basis, right? But just how this woman did something small and made a change in someone's life further in the future. Can we each do that to someone closer in a closer future? All right. And then we get back to, of course, Clyde and Bordas. They're just sitting at the table now, just, fighting. Well, they get into a fight because then, one doesn't want to let the other one smoke because it's bad. And then the doctor comes in and says, okay, it's time for the shot. Who wants theirs first? And they both raise their hand. Just great. The storytelling is just, the addiction and what it does to people is the subplot story, and how you need someone there to help you and support you in, to be able to get through any addiction. You need to be able to have that support person. Although in this case, I don't know if you would really want someone who's currently addicted to the same thing. You usually want someone who's, gotten through the addiction and been away from it for a long time to help you so that, they can help strengthen you rather than both at the same time. But anyway, that's how it worked in this episode. Not quite actual reality that you have a sponsor or anything like that. But that's how it went with this episode. Them just being crazy. I mean, it was funny just to see he's smoking on the bridge. It was great. And then the very, very, very last scene at the very end is Gordon going back to the bar where Greg is there and Laura's singing, and he goes and he harmonizes with her up on stage with the last song and gets done with that. And then, he says he's got to go. He's got another job somewhere else. He's going to be gone and leave and everything. Just so heartfelt. So, again, just good, incredible writing and incredible storytelling about, how would, things be, things that we don't expect that come into our lives and how they change us and move us and create us to be, the person that we are. The next relationship that Gordon is going to have to be in, is he going to, have to explain, well, the last relationship, what was the last relationship you were in, Gordon? And they'll have to say, well, I fell in love with this simulation on the in the simulator. Right. But as close to bringing me to tears as a TV show can, watching it on my computer in, my studio, just it almost got me there. Just so good. I love this show so much. I love everything about it. We need more seasons. We need more everything about it. But this was just one of those really, really, after the hard hitting episodes that they had just gone through with Identity, and then the last episode 2 weeks ago, and now this one, just to be, mix it up, do something really heartfelt, and another side of it being humorous. Just as I just like, again, incredible writing. I don't think I ever really see anything bad that anybody writes out on the internet about the Orville. It's just one of those shows that is just wonderful to watch and wonderful to see. The next problem is, of course, is that we have 3 weeks until the next episode, and I think they said there's only 3 more episodes after that. So I'm hoping soon, at some point, we'll get announcements for season 3, just to get some hope, that. Well, I didn't mean for this show to go so long, but I like the Orville. Well, actually, I love the Orville. And my computer at work, I renamed the computer name to the Orville. So now I have the Orville at work, so I have to go log into the Orville and do things on the Orville. So, but thanks for watching this. If you like it, give me a thumbs up, and comment down below if you got any more things to say about this episode. Just lasting impressions was just another great one. I do more videos about the Orville. I do videos about Marvel and movies and kind of those things that I like. I also do videos about photography. I was just out on Santa Cruz Island taking pictures, and I do videos about technology, which is kind of my day job stuff that I like putting out there. So if you like any of those things, then you can just subscribe to my channel. You'll get them all, hit the little bell and all that stuff. Then you'll be notified when I drop another episode or video or whatever they're calling them nowadays. So there you go. All right. So thanks for watching this, and take care.